gotta read that newspaper. That bread looks delicious. Can I have some of this? That looks really tasty. Can I have? Jesus, what a posh room. Whoa, wrong button. Fuck. I hope that doesn't use up some kind of, like, investigation points or something when you hit that, because I'm going to get really knocked. That one. September 1898, Globe Explorer newspaper. Wait, this isn't a newspaper, this is a book. Sherlock Holmes at the home of the They've changed that. Marquis of Conyngham. The investigation is a fiasco. Yesterday, the celebrated detective Sherlock Holmes is invited to the manor of the Marquis of Conyngham to supply his conclusions following his investigation to the disappearance of the priceless Samoan necklace. It should be recalled that the lady called in the detective after the police appeared flummoxed in the face of the astonished circumstances surrounding the theft. Is there another page? Indeed, the valuable piece of jewellery disappeared while the door to the room in which it was displayed was locked. The alarm was raised by the servants, alerted by the room's service bell ringing out during the night. When the Marquis, the only person in possession of the key, opened the door, everyone rushed in to extinguish the fire that had started before it was noticed that the necklace had mysteriously vanished. Why would you lock a room that has a fire in it? The most astonishing factor is that no thief was found within the room, and all the exits were closed. As usual, Mr. Holmes resolved the case in the twinkling of an eye, and the jewel was recovered. I will not waste my time in the various explanations as to the disappearance, because I would prefer to draw your attention, dear readers, to the last surprising developments in the case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself, the Marquis noticed that the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Let it not be forgotten that the Samoan necklace, although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls which are found only in a small part of the lagoon of the archipelago of the same name, and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of crystal of argonite that they are made of. The priceless necklace, brought here at the beginning of the century by Lord Fenton Arwick, the Marquis's grandfather, and an eminent explorer, should have been part of the daughter's dowry for her marriage to the Duke of Newcastle. So I am going to place a simple question: should we not, in all the open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for a fake by Mr. Holmes himself? I am aware, dear readers, that the brutality of this question without any preconceptions may certainly shock some of you, but the facts are there, and our thought and judgment should not be confused with the regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes's methods. Do not forget our counter-investigation into the escape of Arsène? Because it's got the doohickey? Arsène Lupin, the Frenchman who took malign pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family, and who, by a lucky chance, managed to elude capture by Mr. Holmes. At the time, we did not hesitate to consider it tacit complicity on the part of the latter. For those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it is quite apparent that his character traits show more of the opportunist and brilliant usurper than that of the altruistic defender of the law. I will draw the attention to our readers to the suggestion of the description of this gentleman provided by his friend Dr. John Watson through his stories is a long way from the truth. Oh my god, this goes on for ages. Right, basically they're insulting Sherlock Holmes. I'm
Prince
ordering that.
Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines. The door's open.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
Well, we did say, would you like to check the authenticity? And you went, no, I've admired the necklace loads. So, his own damn fault.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
Well, search his house, you won't find it.
Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
I am right. Of course I'm right. I'm Mr. Holmes.
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
God, why does everyone have such fancy names? Why can't they just be called Fred and Bob and Brucey?
And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
Yeah, we read that.
What a lovely marriage. Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewellery?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector?
Be my guest.
Very well.
Oh.
What do you think, Holmes?
Well, where is it? Oh, it's on the table. Can I have my hourglass, please? I have my hourglass. Magnifying glass. Or am I just going to authenticate it by looking at it with my eyes? I mean, fine. Whatever. It really looks like there needs to be a pendant on there. Like here. Find out if the necklace is... What is this shit here?
These 3 pearls are of poor quality.
This one is obviously wrong.
This pearl is a different color.
These are the wrong fucking size.
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea.
It's a
You
ruse.
insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes.
Well, we just give it to the carriage driver. You control Dr. Watson. I like his tie. Can we... What's this?
The work table, where Holmes analyzes things.
Yep.
Holmes's homemade analyzer.
What the fuck is that thing? It looks like a meth lab. What you been doing, Holmesy? Toby? You got a cat? I thought he's had a dog. Oh wait, no, that's in the new films, I guess. What am I doing?
I have found your map.
But does that take me there if I click that? Oh, piss dicks. I should have looked around the room first. Whatever. Whoa.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
Is someone dead? That clothing is way too tight and it looks like it's made
What
of
has
leather.
happened, Reverend?
Got
What?
S&M.
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God, how horrible. I haven't called anyone. How did you know that?
Hey?
Holmes!
Whoa!
Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
Oh,
How dreadful.
what the hell?
Mutilated. And killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal?
Jesus, look at him!
Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for...
His hands are all
They were
broken.
evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance.
Sorry,
do you have any
I keep
idea
coughing.
as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I
How
am
do you not know
Sherlock
who I
Holmes,
am?
and this is Dr. Watson.
You don't read the
We are
newspaper?
here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave. And not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question! I don't even know you! I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
How do you not know who I
It would
am?
be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one. Therefore, we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed, it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue.
Except his life. The Bishop didn't own anything, not even in his safe. Why did he have a safe? Oh, whoa, you control FPS lag. Right, what's this on the floor? I want this. Pick this up.
A broken
I'm not even wearing
file
gloves. I'm going to put
and
fingerprints on
blood
things.
near the neck.
What a strange smell. Phew. Chemical components, I think.
It's like acid, because look at his fucking skin. I reckon they fucking poured some kind of acid on his feet. And they used a hammer to smash his hands up. The painting.
The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of the infantry brigade of Her Majesty's Guards at Waterloo.
The Bishop of Knightsbridge has the
Waterloo?
same name as his ancestor.
Waterloo?
An illustrious family.
What is this? Is that a chastity belt?
This metal rod is for fastening the chilice.
What the fuck is a chilice? I'm not educated enough for this
A
game.
whip?
No, it is a discipline for self-flagellation.
Right.
It's a cilice designed to bruise the person wearing it. The bishop wore it as repentance. This very pious man must have had the habit of mortifying his flesh as a means of repentance.
And then a person
It's a
mutilated him
silly-
horribly. Yeah.
A whip?
No,
No, nothing else to say about that, I guess. What do we do with
It's
this?
a
then?
it's a...
Fine, whatever. Metal stick. Oh. Okay. Oh, you're kidding me.
I am missing some information.
No doubt.
Reverend, I'm missing something. An implement with which to open this chest. Could you tell me where to find it?
No, go to the devil!
What are you afraid of, Reverend?
You shouldn't be
What
saying
is
things
inside
like
the
that.
chest?
I'm not afraid of anything. In fact, I do have the necessary implements, but if I have to give them to...
You, sir, are a douche. What is it here? Oh dear. Really,
A surgical scalpel covered in blood.
leave your fingerprints everywhere. Just wreck up the place. Okay, I don't need to go in there just yet. Ba, 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 ba.
There is blood on this paperweight.
That's probably what they broke his hands with. Oh, look at the reflection, the shadow of his broken hand. It's all weird. Let's take a look at this.
A broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety.
Maybe they, made him drunk so that he wouldn't make much noise, maybe? Knock him out, kind of thing?
A bottle of whiskey. I can make out fingerprints stained with blood and dirt.
It would seem that the brutes who tortured the bishop to death were intoxicated with alcohol.
There are flies around him. Stinky. So, if there's blood on the chair, then he was standing... I don't know, that's... Maybe they knocked him out or something? Smashed the bottle over his head, and then that's how they got him unconscious and they put him in the chair? Maybe?
This stove is filled to overflowing.
With what, though?
This stove...
With what, though?
This stove...
Shh.
This stove...
Whatever. Be a dick. Oh, God, his hands. Oh, that finger. Oh. Jesus H.
The fingers have been crushed and violently struck.
Yeah, really.
The fingers have...
Oh. Ugh.
His stomach is covered in scratches. Quite evidently, they weren't made recently.
So, these wounds were not made by his murderers.
No, that was made by his belt thing.
His forearms have been ripped. Pieces of skin have been torn off. What do you think, Watson?
I'd say that he was eaten alive. Yet I've noticed a curious degeneration of the skin tissue around the wounds.
Torn off with some kind of tool, maybe? How do I see that board? How do I... Ah! Ow. Oh, there we go. Chest. The murderers were unable to open this safe. The bishop was mortifying himself. He was used to pain. Broken flask with some blood on its top. And they wouldn't make him drink blood. The murderers used made the bishop drink the contents of the flask. The murderers tortured the bishop with the broken glass. I'm willing to say that I'm gonna get more evidence before I try and guess that shit. I don't want to fuck this up, but...
A piece of rope that was used to tie up that poor man.
God, they really just messed this guy up. I think there's anything else to see there. Oh, man. His teeth are all smashed out.
His chest has been lacerated, I would say, with a very sharp and fine blade.
A scalpel we
There
found
isn't
back
any
there.
doubt. The wounds on the bishop were administered with this scalpel.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You can see by his expression that he suffered terribly.
His mouth is covered in blood, and I can make out strips of skin between his teeth. My dear friend, everything points to this man having gnawed at his own forearms.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, trying to get free. Maybe he was trying to get free. Although you try to... maybe. That is known to be quite common in people that are in so much pain. They kind of go crazy and they try to chew through their own arm to escape. Obviously, it doesn't work. It never has, because you can't eat through the bone, but... Oh, God, there's a finger down there. How do I get to that? Can I get to that? He has all of his fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then how is there a finger on the floor? If he has all of his fingers, how is there one on the floor?
A finger. Apparently, it doesn't belong to the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
How dreadful.
Maybe he bit off one of the attacker's fingers.
These burns are terrible.
And he spat
His
it out.
feet have been burned.
My first impression is that he wears a size 9 shoe.
You? But what does it matter, Holmes?
Everything matters when you're investigating a murder. Wait, I'm not Poirot, I'm Sherlock. Gotta remember that. Am I missing something down here, or is that just... Oh, that's just so I can zoom in. Oh,
This
no,
poor
right.
man was tied just below the knees.
To stop him from walking, certainly, but mostly to free his feet.
My God, Holmes, this man was horribly tortured.
Yeah, we can see that.